It's our 4th anniversary. A few days ago, we were talking to each other about how different it is trying to give gifts as a married couple versus when we were just dating. And it's not just different now, but it's harder too. Before we were married with kids, we had time. We could go on a date or plan a vacation. Now we barely have time to even think about a date, let alone actually go on one. Before we were married, we had privacy. Not just from our kids, but from each other. Like for our first Christmas when we were dating, Candace made this amazing scrapbook of our relationship, and it was this big arts and crafts project, and it was a surprise. Now we live in the same house and sleep in the same bed, so there's basically no way she'd be able to pull anything like that off without me knowing about it. And speaking of ruining surprises, before we were married with kids, we had separate bank accounts and separate emails. It really kills the romance when you get an email notification from Amazon saying you just bought something that you weren't supposed to know about. But ultimately, there's really no excuse for not trying to do the best that we can to give special gifts. So during that talk a few days ago, we reminded each other that the best gifts don't have to cost a lot of money or time. So for this anniversary, I looked up the list of traditional anniversary gifts by year. And that's the one where you're supposed to get like cotton for the 2nd year and leather for the 3rd year or whatever. And looking at the list again, I actually realized that I read it wrong. I saw paper for the 4th year when that's actually supposed to be for the 1st year. But it worked out, and this is how. Candace loves hydrangea flowers. She had them at our wedding, and she fantasizes about growing them in our yard so we can have fresh ones in the house all the time. So, keeping in mind our talk from earlier, and going with the theme of paper, I decided to make her a paper hydrangea. Not only would she like the flower in general, but hopefully it would remind her of our wedding. And even though paper is supposed to be for the 1st anniversary, the 4th anniversary is supposed to be fruit or flowers, so paper, flowers. Perfect. I'm no arts and crafts expert, but the modern world we live in, where there's a YouTube video for basically anything you'd ever want to do, anyone can watch a 10-minute video and end up looking like Martha Stewart. So that's what I did. Thank you, YouTube. I'm so glad we decided to keep things simple and inexpensive for our gifts this year. Our best gifts over the last year have been the little bits of time we've been able to carve out to spend with just each other. So maybe it's not so different or hard to give gifts to each other as a married couple with kids. We just have to recognize that the gifts that we love and appreciate may be a little different than they were before.